As a local service-based business, you know how important your database is to your business. If you've been around me for a minute, you know that I always say that your database is the lifeblood of your business. And so, as I want to talk about today, because I've been in conversation uh, with folks lately and talking about databases. And one of the things that I kind of keep hearing is people going, "Yeah, Bill, I've got my database. I've got all my people inside of there, which is awesome. That is great, right?" But what I'm hearing people say when I ask the question is like, "Well, do you have them sorted? But do you know who has the most value to your business of all the people that are in your database?" And the answer is around 99% of the time, well, no, I just have everybody in there, but I know, who the ones, that are my better clients. Okay. Whatever that better may look like. And so what I want to today is walk you guys back through the breakdown of sorting out your database into the three categories that you guys know that I teach on. And if you guys want a copy of of the blueprint that I'm going to go over, right, my database sorting blueprint, just comment blueprint down below, depending on where you're consuming this training. And I'll send it over to you for free, because the key piece of this is that, yes, by having the database and having everyone inside of it is great. But I'm going to tell you is that if you will just do this simple exercise, which won't take you that much time, and the beauty of it is you only have to do it once, and then as you add people into your database, as long as you're adding them into one of the three categories that we're going to cover today, then you're golden. Then you have them, you have them in there. It makes that so much easier. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of work on the front end of it, but really it's not going to take you that long to do it. I would say probably no more than an hour. Now, obviously, you have to have a CRM. Okay, you hear me talk about CRMs, right? Client relationship management systems. You always hear me talk about it as I call it a database too. It's just, to me, they're interchangeable. I'm old school around it, so you'll hear me always talk about it around the database. But you have to have some form of a system, and it's not Google Sheets. It's not an Excel spreadsheet. That's just, yeah, that's just not going to work, or it's not going to work at the level which, if you have a CRM that allows you to create categories and be able to tag all the automations and stuff that are built into that. And I've done trainings on that before. And so if you want to know what I use in mine, you guys know I use IMAX Digital, but we can talk about that on another video, or just reach out to me around the CRM. So what having the CRM, because if you don't have it, then you don't need to watch this video. You can go do something else, because if you don't have a CRM, what I'm going to teach you isn't going to work for you. So if you have it, stick with me, and I'm gonna walk you through this. Okay. So what we're going to do is that we're going to break our whole database, everyone inside of our database, into just three categories. Okay, that's it. That's all we're going to have, and we're basing that off of the value that each person in our database has to our business. Because everyone, yes, has equal value, but not everyone has equal value to your business. Okay. And I'm going to talk about that, explain that kind of as we go through this. So let's jump into it. Okay. So the three categories of sorting out your databases that we're going to have, and I'm going to keep it simple. I just call them A, B, and C, because it's the easy way to remember it. Now, if you want to call them 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, I'm not attached to what you call them, but you want to call them something so you know what that means. So when we look at who our A clients are, now our A clients are going to be people that either have done business with us, okay, 2 or more times in the last 12 months. And let's talk about that, because the issue of it is that if you may be watching this and you may be, in real estate, you may be in mortgage, and you may go, oh, well, I don't have people that are going to buy houses with me, more than, maybe, because we know that on the average now with the new statistic is people on average are staying in their house for up to 10 years or 10 years. So, but what that may look like is that might be in your real estate and mortgages, that could be your investor clients as well. Now, the other piece of it is that they don't have to have done business with you two or more times, but these are going to be your biggest referral partners. These are people that are going to have referred to you. Now, the reason I say that they have done business, because I got people, in my world that are in insurance, that are in financial services, right? So this is where when I talk about doing business with you two or more times a year, because in insurance they may have been just homeowners with you, and then they come along and they add their auto, or it's a business, or liability, a lot of other layers inside of the insurance world, or in the mortgage, in the real estate world. No, not as much, right? So what we're going to do is, this is going to be, they're going to have referred or done business with you two times or more in 12 months. And I've run out of room to write. Two or more times as I fall down in the process of all of this too as well. So they have done business with you or referred you two or more times I just look at that like on a rolling 12 months. Now, keep in mind, for most everybody, this is going to be a smaller group of people, because these are going to be your advocates, right? Because they're referring you multiple times a year. Okay. And that's okay. These are the people that then these are your A's. So then if we just rank that, it's like, if they're referring you two or more times a year, these are the people that you got to be in front of the most. Okay. You guys know, under my 36 Connect program, we talk about, how to stay in contact with people on a regular basis, being in front of them. But to be honest with you, when I was running my real estate business, is that my A clients, I'm in front of them once a month of some sort. Right. And I'm not asking them for referrals, but I'm in front of them. Either we're face to face on a coffee or a lunch, me checking in with them, what's going on in their world. Right. Because they're advocates. I want to continue to keep deepening this relationship. Okay. All right. So number two is, this is probably for most of you, this is going to be your biggest category, if you would, because these are going to be current clients. Okay. And past. Now, I say past because if you're in real estate or mortgage, right, then you're people that have done business with you. So this is anyone that has ever done or is doing business with you. Now, in the insurance and the financial services world, this sometimes is the opposite, where it's like, okay, if they're a past client, that means they probably have taken that business and they have gone elsewhere, right? Do you market to them? You could, but more than likely, probably not. In that case, it's totally up to you. So that's why I want to make get that clear. Is when I talk about current clients, and then also past clients, and this is also anyone that has referred you. Because here's what happens: is that you can have people that, and these people can be in your A's. I've had people in my A category running my real estate business, that never had done business with me, had never bought or sold a home with us, but yet referred. They were in HR, in companies, and then part of them in different colleges at the university, that would refer us. And so they were A's, never done business with us. Same thing in the B. I've had people where they knew me and liked me, trusted me, and then they would refer, and hadn't yet at that point in time done business. Okay, so. But this is going to be, again, this is going to be our big, but they have had to refer or have done business with us, having that experience. Okay. So these are our multiple people. These are the people that are current, past, that are referred. And then that leaves us one category, right? And that's our C. And this is what I call our Mets. Okay. These are people that we have met either at their could be friends. They could be They could be people that we met that were maybe in a networking organization with, or we met somewhere. We got into a conversation with them, and then we put them into our database. And we put them in as a C because they've never done business with us now yet. That's our key word is because the goal of this is that ultimately is what we want to do is how do we want to move these people up, right? So if I've got somebody that I've just met at a networking function, and and then it's maybe setting up a coffee, and finding out, right, hey, is there some synergy there, and engaging that person, and then do they end up referring you or doing business with you, right? So then what do? Then they move up into this category. And then we ultimately, yes, it would be great to move as if we had everybody in our A that was referring us or doing business with us multiple times a year. That would be awesome. Okay. But the key piece of this is that we want to make sure. So these are, and what you don't see on here is people that don't know me or don't know you, right? If this is your database that you're sorting out, is that I'm not. If you want to do that, you can create it the way you want to create it. But that's I'm not bad. I'm not one on buying mailing lists and cold outreach and doing all of those things. If that's something that you want to do, obviously it's your business. You run it and do it the way that you want. What I'm sharing with you is that a system that personally had worked for me, for the people that I coach and train on this, and it works. Does cold work? It can work. This works and is much more enjoyable and profitable and all of those things. I believe 100%. So the key piece of this is that we want to have a conversation. That may be somebody that you connected with online, that maybe if you had a Facebook post, or you had something out there that commented, you got into a conversation, right? They know who you are. The issue of it is that if we're reaching out to people and they have like, who is this? I don't know, have any idea. Even the people in my C's, this is why we call them Mets. We've actually met them. They know who you are, right? They may not be your best friend or be that close, but they're like, oh, okay. If they got something for you, if you called them, they were like, oh yeah, I know who this person is. Okay. It's not like we're putting anyone in that's cold. And so what you want to do is, the easiest way to do this is to really sit down, put it on your time block this out like you should be doing your lead generation and all the other things, and sit down and go through your database. And you start in the A's, and just the first person, it may be, Johnny Appleseed is the is the first person that you come to, right? In your A's. And then you just ask yourself, right? You just run them through this filter. Hey, are they referring us 2 or more times a year? Nope. Are they a client? Yeah, they're a past client. Great. Stop. That's what, you don't have to go any further. Get the tag, add the tag to them, or category, whatever that is that you add them to that. Boom, we go down to the next one, right? And it may be, whoever that next person is like, oh, this person, nope, they're not. And you're gonna know, like, you're gonna be able to go through this pretty quick, because here's your filter. You don't filter through 50 things. You're only filtering through 3. It's like, whoop, I know they're not referring me 2 or more times, or so they're definitely not this. They're not a client. Oh, this person is somebody, hey, that I see at the gym, that I know that I've met there, right? Okay, then guess what? We'll give them the tag of the C, and we're just going to rinse one and then repeat this. Okay, not rocket science. You just got, but you have to do it. It's easy to do. It's also easy not to do it as well. And then we just keep everybody piled in, because when you get done with all of this, then what you can do is then basically is that you can pull and look at and go, hey, how many people do I have in my A category? Here's my group of A people, right? Okay, these are my advocates. These are the people that I want to be in front of the most. These are my B's. Okay, these are my current and past clients, right? We know who those people are, how many of those are, and then we have our C's. Because if I may be going to be tailoring a message, or I want to invite my A clients that I may be doing some kind of a promotion or event that I want to invite them to, right? It's easy for me to identify them and know that it's like, hey, here's my A's. And then if I know that I want to be in front of my A's once a month, then I know this, right? And then this is why inside of our CRM, when we have the right one, is that we can set reminders. We can use some automation to help make our life much better and easier. Okay. And but it starts with this. It starts with the simple categorization of that database. And then what happens is that as we put new people in, so someone gets referred to me, and let's just say, wow, it's like, man, all of a sudden I may have a B client. It's like, oh, that's the second referral I got from them already, this year. Well, guess what? Now all of a sudden, this person that was a B, they move up into the A category, right? And we have somebody that's like, hey, I met this person and they referred me somebody, or hey, they hired me, or they're doing business with me. They wrote a policy with me. They invested money with me. Guess what? Now they're a B, right? And we know that because then we kind of look at this and it's like, hey, who do I need to work with that I want to move up, that I may have great synergy with. And then that's the key piece of this. It's your database. It's like, it's not just a static thing. It's a living, breathing organism, right? Because we have people in here, we have relationships in here, and they're constantly changing. They can, this is why you're looking at it every day. This is why you want to be adding to it every single day. Because here's what's going to happen is that somebody's going to move. They're going to leave. They're going to decide that they're going to go somewhere else, and they don't need homeowners insurance, in Florida, because they're moving, somewhere else out of another state that you're not going to be able to help them with, right? Mortgage, all of it doesn't. We're going to have people come. Somebody in their family gets into the business, and so they're like, hey, they're not going to be referring or sending you business anymore. This is why it's constantly changing. This is why you have to be in front of it. Okay. And know that. And that's why you want to be adding people to it, right? This is why getting in front of people, adding the C's. And then we take those C's and we look at these people and go like, hey, how can I bring value to this person? How do I connect with them? What can I, then to build a relationship, then it's where it's like, hey, they're either doing business with me or they're referring. You see how this works. And this is the whole piece behind it. And this is where I think one of the big things where I just see so many people missing the mark on this is that even if they do have a database, is they just have everybody piled into it. And then, yes, maybe that they're sending out something, maybe once a year, they're sending out a Christmas card or some kind of recipe thing or something, right? But that's a whole other conversation, because what I see is the communication and the engagement is so terribly low at times. And this is where we get challenged and go, well, why I'm not getting referred, or I'm not getting referred on a consistent basis. And it's because of, you have to build a system around doing it to be just a lead getter or receiver, is to be a lead generator. But then to go, okay, hey, these are the people that are already out of all of these. If again, this is why I rank this with A, B, and C. If I was who would I spend the most time with? Well, I would spend the most time here, because these are the people that have already raised their hand and have already showed that they were going to refer me. Here's my second one. These are current clients that already paid me money, or past clients if you're mortgage or real estate, right? These are my current, if I'm in insurance, these are my current policy holders. You've got a policy written with me. These are my people. They're giving me money every month. And they, on average, here's the thing about all this. This is on average, everybody knows 250 people. This is the beauty of how the whole database works, right? So on average, if I had 100 people in my database, if I only had 100 people in my database, then I would have a potential reach of 2,500, right? 100 times 250 is 2,500, right? You think out of 2,500 each year, somebody's going to be doing something. They're going to know somebody that needs insurance, that needs a mortgage, is going to buy a home, then wants to invest in the market, needs financial advice. Yes. The answer to the question is yes. It's just the numbers tell us that is the case. And then, so as we grow that database, right, everything goes. And then we have a system in place where we're connecting with people, right? The 36 Connect. You hear me? You guys know about that. And if you don't, then let me know. And I will send you my client engagement playbook. And that tells you exactly what you need to be doing on a monthly basis with your clients. And so that's what I've got for you today. It's just, again, it's nothing that's not new that I haven't shared or taught this before, but it's the reminder, it's the repetition, because the question of it is that, have you done it? Is this set up? And if it is, that's awesome. Good for you, because you're going to be in the top 10% at that point in time. But the other question I ask is are you Are you adding? Are you adding to your database on a consistent basis? And then slowing down enough, right? As you meet people and, adding them to your database. Hey, if you had if you had a question about insurance, or you had a friend or a family member that does, do you have a trusted insurance agent that you could ask those questions of? No? Yes? No? Hey, great. I'd love to be that resource for you. Right? And it does become weird because we start out with just being a resource, especially obviously with these people, right? Because they don't really know us yet that well. They don't trust us. And so that piece of it is that let me be a resource. Let me just answer questions, because everything starts with a conversation. And that's what we've got to be doing. We've got to be, and then we got to engage these people. We've got to be in conversation with them. And the reason that most people leave their insurance agent, their financial planner, or they don't use their mortgage person or their real estate agent again, it'll tell you one of the top reason is communication. Just is. I left my insurance company down in Florida, and you guys have heard me share this before, but it was like their communication was horrible. Horrible. I couldn't even tell you my agent's name. And then when it was time for me to make a change, when I met somebody else and built a relationship, I'm like, hey, why am I paying money to these people? I give it to somebody that I got a relationship with. And it was easy for me to leave. I'm like, I don't really care. I'm like, yeah, I'm moving my business. Didn't feel bad about it at all. I'm like, I got a relationship. There was purely transactional on their part. It, and so that's happening in your business. So don't kid yourself. If it's like if you're not doing this and you're not engaging people on a regular basis, there's going to come a point, especially and especially in the insurance world, where I spend a lot of time in the insurance industry, is when that premium that goes up and people are like going, and then it's easier for them if you're not in a relationship with them and having conversations and building value with them. Then it's easy for them just to kind of go, I'm going over here to Geico. I'm going to get it for 15% less because I don't have a relationship with them. I don't have a relationship with you. So it becomes a commodity, right? The absence of value, when there's an absence of value, the only thing that you have to negotiate is price. That's it. Because if you have no other value, and the relationship is value. And this is what a lot of people fail to realize is that in that piece of it, because it's so much harder. It would be harder if I had a close relationship with this agent. And close meaning is like, I knew them, they reached out to me, they connected with me. Hey, what's going on in my world? What's happening? All those kind of things. It would be a harder conversation to leave over a few dollars. But people are doing it every single day across the board, because I believe that we've become so transactional in a sense, and then we want to outsource everything, in it. And I'm a fan of automation. I'm a fan of, using AI, but at the end of the day, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust, and there's a relationship built in there. And if you just want to be transactional, then it's a volume play. At the end of the day, then it's just like, okay, if my churn goes up, right? My churn rate, if I'm in insurance, and we don't see that like we see it, but we have churn in mortgage and in real estate. It just affects us different. It means that the people just don't do business with us again, and they don't they don't refer us, right? So it just kind of goes quietly into the night. And then we wonder why. It's like, why are people referring me? Well, it's because we're not doing the work. And I have run businesses both ways. I've run transactionally and I've run relationally. And I'm just going to tell you, I mean, I wouldn't do what I'm doing now if I didn't believe in building these relationships. Is it work? Yeah, it's work. But everything is work. You think it's not, you think buying leads and dealing with people, that's cold. I mean, dealing with the people that you got to convince to doing business with you, that's even harder work. I mean, it's not digging ditches hard work, but I'm just telling you, I mean, you're making calls and you're reaching out to people that know you. It makes it so much easier, and it will get you to do it versus, I mean, like cold call. And I've cold called early in my career. I mean, I would door knock, I would cold call. There's nothing that like inside of business I probably haven't done. Except for I will tell you this in running our real estate business and being in real estate, for 20 years, we never bought leads. We didn't buy leads from Zillow. We didn't do any of all that. Now, I'm not saying that to impress you at all. I'm just saying to impress you upon the fact that this works. 94% of our real estate business was referred. The other six came from people off signs and whatever, right? Just happens, that way. Um, and running that at a very high profitability rate too as well. And again, not to impress you, and that doesn't make me special. What it does is just makes me, if I can do it, the issue is like following the systems that I teach inside of my business. What I'm teaching you today, it works, but you've got to work it. So I'll get off my soapbox on that today. Grab the copy of this. You want a copy, right? It's simple. It goes into this obviously in more detail, but it breaks it down, and then you can just take that and you can just start going through your database on it and getting it sorted out. So you can start connecting, start generating more referrals because that will generate more business. So, hey, as always, hey, thank you for watching. And if I can be of assistance to you, please let me know. And just drop the word blueprint in the comments, and I'll send it over to you for free. And I'll see you guys on the next video.